in changing anything on here, basically if you have any 3P5 tools on here, you just need to use this and the bottom one to take them out. And there's an adapter in here that this spindle screws into, and this comes down to tighten these two together. If you're using a bigger tool for some reason, you don't need this adapter. I don't think you're going to be using that at all.
We do. We're going to have 2 and 4.
Okay, so this is.
And if we get more of this business, we're going to be moving up to. We have a job that we do that uses 15.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that would be where you would change it. But.
Okay, but otherwise 2 and 4 is okay.
Yeah. These are 2s here, set in a bunch of different material that you gave us, some 4s.
Yep.
I didn't have any of the samples left, so I found some things that were somewhat similar.
Yep.
But basically when you set it up, let me just grab my wrench. The easiest way is take this off first. I don't usually work with these on, but...
And you're taking off the whole plate?
This, material support just comes right off. It's only 2 bolts. Just takes an Allen wrench. You don't have to do this, but I think it's a lot easier for this purpose. This makes everything a lot easier to get at. That comes off. And then everything's right here for you to grab that. But when you set this the first time, let's say you put a new tool in, and all it is to do a tool is you want to kind of just keep that nice and snug, and you would put a smaller Allen wrench or any kind of rod or something you have handy that's the right size, and just put it in and you pop it out. Then you can loosen this back up and put it up to where you need to be. But I start when I first do the setup all the way at the bottom, and then you bring this down so they're not touching right now because it's too low. So you turn this die until you feel it touch the tool. Actually stop it, and then let it up and go literally a hair. Just turn it that much, and that should be enough to get your cut.
And that turns down.
Yep, and then you just tighten that up. And I would tighten it up with a wrench when you know it's where you need it to be for sure. But then you're you want to test your cut. See, that's a little not the greatest.
And how can you tell? It didn't.
Well, that's where it was.
I see.
It's a nice clean hole.
Yep.
That's still a little choppy, so.
Good. Hi.
A little choppy, yeah.
So you're raising it each time?
Yep, very slightly. So you don't need to go a lot. I mean, sometimes it'll be just a hair line that makes a great cut and no cut. So. See, that's a good cut.
Yeah.
Because now it's nice and clean.
Okay.
So I would just leave that where it is then. Just tighten it a little bit.
Do you have to pull the fabric out of the hole each time?
No, they'll end up pushing all the way through. And it'll just come out like that on the floor.
So this is all hollow down.
Yep. All through it's hollow.
Yep.
And then basically the same operation for the top. Start with this cap all the way up. And you would put one in. I don't know if you're doing cut and set or one shot, but if you wanted to do
it's cut and set.
Okay, so we'll say that's what it is then.
95% of the problems.
Now it's already set to where I want it, but if you were doing that, this would be obviously very loose. And all you would do is you loosen this up, bring this down a little bit, and then tighten it until and keep bringing it down until you get that where you want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to adjusting it. You just loosen it.
Loosen it
Start
here.
with it all the way at the top. Yep.
And then this is the same thing.
And this is threaded here.
It's threaded
this
in.
cap.
Okay, yeah.
So you loosen this to get it free and bring it down. Try it, see where it is. If you need it tighter, loosen it, bring it down a little more, tighten it back up.
So you can do it both ways.
Right. So if for some reason it was really material that was hard to cut or something, and you need more power to it, You bring this up a little bit more until you get a good cut and either back this off or, you know what I mean? It's like a balance. You just have to find whatever, it just goes whatever you're doing. It's going to set where you need to be.
Yeah.
If you bring them too close together,
well, then you'll start ruining tools, yeah. That's why I say the bottom one, I kind of just, really no matter what I'm doing, I more or less, unless it's something that really is a difficult cut, I'll just bring it up like I showed you under the pressure there. Let it up, just give it a hair turn, see how it cuts. And sometimes it's just going to cut right off the bat. Okay, that cut's fine. We don't need to touch it. Lock it down, you're all set. And then it's just a matter of getting the roll and tightness, how tight you want it. That's basically going to be whatever material you happen to be doing.
Right.
But as far as if you need something tighter or looser, that's just all right here. Just loosen this up. If you want it tighter, bring it down a little more. If it needs to be a little looser, you can go up a little bit.
And at the point that you put, I'm just now.
Hang on for just a second.
You put this back on. That makes this a little less accessible. So at that point, that's why this is easier up here to adjust.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, this you shouldn't really have to deal with once you set it. And if you're not changing grommet size, you're not going to change the tool, so you don't really need to change that.
Okay.
You can pretty much set it to cut, and as long as you're still doing 2 plane, it's not going to matter.
All right.
Did you understand how this goes up and down though? I kind of,
well,
maybe because I was
this
filming,
loosens and then this twists.
Right.
Okay.
Brings it down.
All right.
Brings it up or down.
Okay.
But this, and you would adjust this to cut.
Yep.
And when it cuts right, then that's it.
Yep.
Then you adjust this.
Then that's going to control all how much this rolls, how tight it is.
Okay.
This is 100% just your cut off the beginning. So
okay,
you're going to say, okay, I got a good cut. You can lock that down.
All right. The bottom is adjustable for the cut, and then the top is adjustable for the setting of the grommets.
Right. Exactly.
we're going to hire her.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
well, I gotta explain this when I get home. So
it's pretty straightforward though, as far as that goes.
Yeah.
It's just like I say, it depends on the material you're using.
Yeah.
But I tried setting through all the stuff you gave me, and I you know, it's nothing that you're gonna have any trouble with. I don't think.
Okay.
So it should be fairly simple.
You want to whack it out of adjustment and you do it yourself, so you see how to do it. And we're here 7 to 3:30. You can call me. I'll give you to Brendan, Rick,
That's
whoever.
it. We're getting that out.
That's it.
That's it. It's tight now, so you just pop that out. And that's the 2 plane. The easiest way I think to do that is take this out first, then take these out. It gives you a little more room.
This is changing one die. You call it a die?
Die and set cap. And spindle.
Just changing that from one to another.
from a 2 to a 4 in this case.
2 to a 4.
Yep. And then this is the same basic principle as the die. You just put anything through here, turn it. After that, it comes out. You got to take this off, obviously, because you need it for the other one.
Oh, I just made the soda. Would you like to see it?
Bring these two close together.
I'm going to bring it over.
Take your 4. That in. And it just goes back up in there. There's a little adapter in there.
So you're screwing the smaller piece
the spindle
in first.
into this, yeah. Into adapter. And then that's the bottom here has got the same thing, but you're gonna have to bring this up a little bit first.
That's what I was talking about. Because we're probably gonna. Those are $1,000 right there.
Those for like the big framers and stuff. Those are some big
And
tools.
we do.
You do?
Yes, we do. And but I'm not. We can't do that right now. We do. It's exactly what we're using. But this machine can take that. That's the beauty.
This machine go from real small to real big.
That's
the beauty of it. And what you're seeing here is a tool change. It's that simple to get to this tool change.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Amazing.
And then you just thread this die in, and the shorter one's always going to be your die. That goes in the bottom.
Right.
And then, like I say, bring it down all the way so you know your tools aren't going to hit.
Okay.
And then it's basically the same deal. Bring it up till you actually feel it stop.
So that's
like that.
That's the key.
Yep.
Is
Just bring it up till it stops. And then you really just have to barely touch it again. Just a little hair.
Are you backing it off
Nope,
at that point?
bringing it up.
Bringing it up
Just
a little
slightly,
bit more.
ever
Okay.
slightly.
Okay.
And then it's just a,
To make sure that it cuts right.
yep, then it's just a trial and error, and that's a perfect cut already, so
Yep.
we don't even have to touch it.
Yeah.
And now we just take that and just lock it down. And now that part's all set. Then we do the same thing with the top to get your roll. I don't have any.
What size do you need?
4 roll. Now you could do it in material, or you could do it out of the material by hand, and just to see. I'd say that's pretty good already.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about this machine too, is it compensates for the different thicknesses and stuff.
So you could actually do that without using material, and that's
Yeah, it'll at least give you
yeah, that was
an
pretty-
idea of where you are.
Pretty darn
If you're
good.
doing real thin stuff, you close them more. If you're doing
Yeah.
thicker stuff, you
Open
leave
it
it
up.
open it up.
Yeah. And all that opening happens up here,
Yep.
not
Yes.
down here.
Right. That's your cut, and that's
Now
gonna
that you have your
determine how
cut
thick
set,
it is.
you shouldn't have to move that die at all now. Now all your other adjustment is up top.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's the key, is the cut. Once you got the cut,
Then
that's
everything
locked
else
in.
is just getting it to where you need it to be.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
That's great. That is great. Okay.
Then it's just loosening that. But this one here, on the bigger ones, you can actually take this out first.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it a little bit easier.
And I go,
Left, yeah.
That's it. Those aren't usually too tight at all.
okay, now that's the cutter, right?
Yep, that's the spindle.
So that's
That'll do the
that's a
cutting.
4 spindle.
Yep.
Okay.
And then those just
And then
undo.
do I take the whole thing out?
Yep, because you're going to need that locking collar for the other one.
So the collar stays, right? But I just take out the...
Well, you're going to
out
need
the whole thing.
to switch them over onto this one.
So,
Probably still seems like a pain in the butt, but once you do it a
Once
few
you-
times, it
yeah.
really is easy.
so that's 4. This is 2.
Yep.
Now, you
And
did the
this one-
spindle in
This one I
yeah.
do it first because it's a smaller one. Oh, you got to go the other way. Yeah. And I get that started. And once it's started, you can
So you put
bring
the...
this down.
That's the spindle, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's started. And then I go...
Well, then you're going to have to bring it down a little bit so you can tighten the spindle in. So loosen this off of it, because the spindle's already in there. So this whole thing, you can loosen it right down, because now it has a hole in it.
Ah,
So you got to bring it just a couple more turns there, and then you just tighten
oh,
it
you
in
set
there.
that. Okay.
Give it a little, and that's enough to hold it in.
So this one, let me just see something. This, I see. So this doesn't, this has to, I was going to say this could be put on after you set that, but no, I got it.
Some of them you can, like these
Yeah.
ones you can because it's at the bottom.
Right.
But that ones you have to do like that.
Okay, got it. So I have to do it all the way up, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And then this one, just make sure there's no gap in there, and just bring it all the way. So that's why I usually screw this all the way onto here
I
first.
see, okay.
It makes it easier to not forget it.
So you don't want a gap down there?
No, not at first.
Okay, okay.
And then all you're gonna do is get your material, and we're gonna set up the cut again.
See that?
So
And that's as high as this will go. We
that's as
know-
high as that'll go. That's as low as that'll go.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you just whack that, and we'll see where we are. That's right. You gotta, and then move this up. Remember until it touches.
Oh, okay.
And that's basically stopped there. So you can let it off on that,
Okay.
and then just turn that a hair.
That's not a big deal. If I'm in the area.
And this will just give us a estimate.
And then tighten this, or
yeah,
not
but
yet?
we don't have to sock it because we're gonna know where we are. So.
Okay.
And you're gonna know when the cut's good. Like I would get, you know, maybe go up a hair more, so we'll loosen that just a tiny bit more.
So that black thing is just the locking collar, and you adjust
just
on the bottom.
The collar to lock it to. So. That's a good cut.
That's a good
I would
cut.
think, yeah.
Yeah, beauty.
Okay, so you want that. You don't want any of this frayed edge business.
No, I mean, is it going to work with the frayed edges?
Yeah.
Of course. You're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
I mean,
You'll get a better
you want
grommet if it
exactly
is in the right tension.
So that's tight. So we'll just.
So we know that's set.
That's all set. We don't even have to touch that again now. So we'll just tighten that up. That's all done.
So now.
So now when we want to set this, we can do the same thing we did before. Take one of these and one of these. And you can do it in material or just like this, which I think this is probably the easiest way.
So the teeth goes on the bottom.
Yep.
And
then you push the grommet up onto the spindle. And you always want to make sure that there's a little bit of spindle protruding through the grommet. You probably never have to deal with that, but if you start running into issues, you may see that this falls off. Sometimes the tools are worn, or but
So no, actually, would you do? You could do this
right.
without.
This is, yeah, just to
without
see.
just to see.
And that's not bad like that, I think.
get it out.
That's even though I have nails, which that's pretty good, I think.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, and then we'll try it there through the material and see. You notice a lot more, I think, with when you don't have the rolled rim or the spur washers.
Yeah.
Like 2 plane, 4 plane, things like that. You start to notice a lot more that, you know, thinner material. These seem to set almost all the way up.
Yeah.
It's usually not bad. But when you get to like 2 plane, it seems like you have to do a lot more adjusting. It needs a lot more. It's got to come down a lot farther.
I was going to say, you get a Husky, you get a Husky one for 150 bucks. Husky's really good.
These ones seem pretty simple. They're just setting right as they are.
Okay.
But if you need to adjust that at all for a tighter roll for some reason, it's just loosen this up, bring this down, and then just tighten it back up when you get where you want to be.
Yep.
And
but that's where you do it there. This is this one's
I basically
set.
look at that just as a cut. That's all I'm going to touch it again. And whenever you're going to do different materials with the same one, go whatever the thinnest one you have is and set it to that, because it'll compensate on the way up to any other material.
Okay.
So set it to your thinnest material first. If you're going to be using, say, 3 different thicknesses, I would set the thinnest one, and you shouldn't have to change it through the other 2.
So if, in fact,
it was double,
yeah,
then you would have no problem.
yeah. So you set it to what you set this to the thinnest possible material, and then it will do everything.
Well, once you get a cut regardless out of this, it doesn't matter what the material is. Once you have a cut, it'll always be a cut.
Okay.
But this, I would always set the tightness, the roll to your thinnest material first.
Okay.
Because it's just, you don't have to mess with it after that.
Okay.
If you want something thicker.
If you put something that's too thick there, will it put too much? Will it put too much strain?
No, I mean, you really have to do something pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Like that that's nothing. I'll go right through that. You can do it like that. They will still go through it.
Is that right?
It's just, I find more times than often, you're running out of grommet barrel.
Right.
It's just not long enough to go through that many layers.
Okay.
So something like this, that's really not going to could do that. No problem. But
Do these come with a longer barrel on them than the 2s or the 4s?
I know they make an XL, I think they call it,
Yeah,
which is just extra long.
Is that a problem with this guy? Or
No, not that I know of.
Yeah. Because you talk about how it's always good to have a little, well, this is not a good example, but
A little bit of
this
protrusion,
underneath.
yeah.
But I presume that the longer barrel might go up higher?
Yeah, well, the way they do them is they just have the, on these, they have this little rolled in part at the end. So all it would be is that you'd actually just have more grommet on the spindle.
Yeah, gotcha, okay.
Um,
All right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, and
How you plug that in?
Oh, okay. I would put my left hand on the little white elbow here. Makes it easier. And that way your hands can never be in anywhere they shouldn't be. And then you just push it in. I'm not sure exactly on your air setup, but you just hook it up and that's it.
Okay.
And then you don't have to do anything with that. But
You just pull it off?
yeah, I'm not sure what kind of airline setup you're gonna have, for sure. But if you do something similar, then yeah, it's usually just on, and then like this style has it where you just turn it a little bit
To tighten it?
well, you just push it on and it like opens around it. Then when you want to undo it, you have to actually turn this little apparatus here. It's like a little lock.
Yeah, I see. Yep.
So it slides in, and then to get it off, you got to turn it.
Yep.
But yeah, it's I like that setup the best. I think it's simple.
Okay.
It doesn't take anything to do it. Under here is everything that needs to get lubed. We got anything with the red spots here.
Yep.
Should get oil.
Red spots get oil.
Yep.
And how frequently?
It really depends on how much you're using it. Like if this is something you used 8 hours a day or more, I'd probably do it like every other day, maybe a little more. It doesn't need a lot.
And do you
a drip?
You just drip in?
Yep. Like if you're gonna do once a week or something, you could just take the extra 10 minutes or whatever it is, take this off. You'll get it all the spots that need to be oiled and greased. But like I said, I don't know how often, how much work this is gonna have, so I'm not.
It goes in fits and starts, and
right, like most, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna constantly be using it, then I would probably do it every other day or so. I've seen them come in where they're like it's been out inside in the rain for a year or so, and people are like, "Oh, we don't know what's wrong with it." Well, you might want to oil it. You know, I mean, it is a machine and they do last, but you also have to take care of them like anything else. It's just basically a cover. Everything's marked where it needs oil.
Oh, excellent.
So like that pin there, you throw a little drip, 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 drip.
So in between.
I usually put it right. I'll try to get them like right in between all the little crevices.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just runs down. I grab my oil and I'll show you.
Metal on metal, basically.
I just let it drip. You can use anything you want, but you get a little drip, drip, and it's, you know, wipe a little off, whatever. But that's really all you got to do. Just keep it lubricated, and this thing will go forever.
And how do you get at these guys?
Yeah, it's always a question. I just do them like that. But just as long as you try to keep everything lubricated. I mean, do your best.
That doesn't get through to the. That does not get through to the material.
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Just always, you know, after you throw a lot on or you let it sit or something for a while over the weekend or whatever, you always just wipe around there real quick.
Yeah.
But it should never come through all the way.
These, in fact, aren't going to get as much stress as this
Oh
thing
no,
going
there's
up
not
and down.
really much stress.
So
It
they
just
don't-
keeps it ease of movement.
Yeah, okay.
That's the manual right over there. It has an oil and lubrication schedule and everything built into the manual. Everything is in plain English.
Yeah, I've never actually even looked at the manual. So.
Right.
Okay, so everything's in
All
there.
it is.
All right,
Then there's
excellent.
always us.
Yeah.
Well, I have a sneaking.
If the boat doesn't talk back to you, call us.
Yeah. I have a sneaking
There's
suspicion
Chris. We're going to get a shot of Chris. And there's Brendan.
Yeah, you can definitely call anytime for anytime.
I have a suspicion that you'll be
That's
hearing from
fine.
us,
That's
but
what we're here for.
it's pretty exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. I think they're great machines. I've seen
I'm going to lift it up a little bit.
old ones. Yeah, I usually get one side and then the other, but
Oh,
however you want to do it doesn't
Oh, many
matter.
okay.
trips to
You get side? You
That
get
might
one
be
there?
the
It's,
question.
yeah,
Okay.
I found that it's easier with these to do with one side and get them somewhat pulled in a little because they have to actually compress a little, it seems. So, you know, they'll like set themselves. So as long as the other side.
Well, you're missing the one down here.
Do you want to take this back? Well,
No, that's fine.
So just, you know, just as a matter of course, if we did this once a week, it probably
Fine, yeah.
yeah.
Like I say, we've actually had a few come in where it looks like they've been out in the rain for a year, and they still work.
People with problems with this
amazing.
is lack of maintenance.
Yeah.
The people that maintenance these all the time,
Never
we do not get phone calls.
Yep.
And also, if you do a lot of grommet setting, because we make the tools obviously here, you know, some people just buy brand new tools. If you send them back, we'll look at them, and if we refurbished a brand new.
Okay.
So as long as they're not chipped or anything, we refurb them and send them back. You'll never know that it was a refurbished tool after we were done with it.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay, that's great.
So that's just another, you know, little thing.
Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. When we were at the trade show, David, right, was there, and he had the one that's the automatic, the number 2s, and this for me was $12,000.
4KGW right there. Yep.
Amazing to watch.
Oh yeah. We were talking about that. I'm going to give you guys a tour, and you can see more of the. We do semi-automatic, fully automatic. I mean, and then your hand load.
And this plate just gives you a nice flat platform.
Yeah,
for
it's just
the
a material support. It makes it a lot easier.
With this machine. Wait till you see it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
See this, you know, because it was number 15, I was saying we do a lot of dressing.
And that's basically that.
Really?
Yeah. And they're very specific.
Is this oil or sweat?
Yeah, it's just oil.
And the number 15 Grommet. But we just finished a series of them, and I don't know when the next batch is going to come in. And I said, well, God, at $1,000 a die.